Hello everyone, this is Gorax, and today I'm gonna show you my 15 teams for Otherworld exploration. It didn't take long, it took only an hour and a half to get these teams done. And there's a big tip for you. If you've done your 6 teams and all of them managed to do around 80 million damage, you can make 12 teams out of it using the same damage dealers, just splitting the teams and adding additional supports. Remember, you don't need level 100 heroes, you can do it with level 70, 90, and I'm gonna show you how I've done it. This is not going to be a free-to-play friendly video, as this is my main account we're talking about, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my teams against different bosses. We can still do 15 teams against a single boss, but I will avoid that. I want to give you some ideas how to do it, because you might have few of the same heroes that I used, and that will enable you to create a whole team. So let's go over it. Now we will start with Otherworld, as I believe Otherworld is very good boss to deal with. He is a boss that enables AoE damage dealers. I mean, he is vulnerable to necrotic damage, but we can bring in a rally team or a team, and these teams will do really good here. So if you struggle to do 22 million on a single target bosses because you're using AoE damage dealers, bring them to Otherworld and see how much your damage will increase. So here it is, the first team, again Otherworld, 30 million. I split my shadow team in multiple teams, actually 3 teams, and as you can see here, I'm using Asphalta, Ripekas and Daphne plus 2 level 1 heroes. They do not matter. If you are close to 22 million, you might consider getting them to level 50 to get an artifact slot and put Chest of Radiance or Pipe Organ, something that can boost your team. When it comes to skill timings, they are default because we're playing Shadow, right? The main thing here is Daphne jumps onto Asphalta, and Asphalta deals a lot of damage before the team eventually dies. But we only care about 22 million and we're doing over 30. Then we go to the next shadow team, and this team required me to level up few heroes because there was issues surviving. So I'm gonna use Tatov as the main damage dealer, and then Taldi as a Witch's Remain applier. Perseus will be our main tank, and he will use the Chest of Radiance. The issue with this team is the positioning, because Tatov is at the end and he has the highest attack. So what happens is Otherworld spawns his clones at Tatov, and my front line moves to Tatov, and Tatov dies. So we want to avoid that, so I had to level up Tatov to level 90 to make sure he survives. I started with level 70 and I was doing 19 million, so I was very close. I knew adding these extra levels will help, and Megan is just here to give us Horn as well as extra healing here. Chest of Radiance, you should have it right now at this stage, and it's one of the best artifacts for free-to-play players as well, so make sure you have it at least one hero in every team, as it's a big boost. And I use Curza here with Rift Hourglass to slow down the boss, although she is not necessary really, you could get away without Curza. And timings, nothing, because we play Shadow. In the last team, obviously, since I have Ozul, I will use Ozul. And I already had those heroes leveled up. I only get my extra supports to level 50, as you can see. Gladros for Chest of Radiance and Zarlov for Downpipe Organ. Ozul is demolishing without any shadow regeneration, just on his own, dealing amazing damage. Plus we have Astion. I didn't even put a chest on her, as you can see. So let's do that now and update that team. And yeah, this team does solid 87 million damage. Again, low level heroes in the team just to get the 5 affinity. Do not forget that. Moving on to second easiest boss, I would say Sheena. Okay, Sheena is like Alton in previous seasons, so we can build multiple teams against her. And the teams that work well are obviously the fire teams. Wild team is really good against single target, and as you can see here, the first team doing 54 million damage using Scenario and Victor, because I had Victor leveled up, so I decided to use him. I'm using 2 weak damage dealers plus level 50, which is Remain applier. As you can see, I made sure she's got enough accuracy here. So the damage dealers, again, Chest of Radiance, we have Downpipe Organ and this Matriarch Gem artifact on Volley. So her damage is coming from the basic attacks. This is why we built her with this Dominator set, and it's working quite well. We have Gatekeeper staff on Garius to ensure we survive, and no timings whatsoever. Again, easy team. If you have Scenario, you can build it. You don't even need Victor right here. So yeah, that's good. And then moving forward to the next team, 23 million. This is the team that I had to level up supports because I wasn't sure I'll have enough supports because other teams as well. So again, I used 2 very strong damage dealers. As you can see, that's from my main team. I used 4 damage dealers against this boss on main team. So far, I'm using 3 of them. I put Elminster here and Hexandra as well to make sure the team survives to do 22 million damage. And they are low levels as well. But the team does survive and we do 23 million damage on first day, which means it will only increase. Now, there is a skill timing here, as we have Eric casting before Tanalnan, so we can use Witch's Remain as Eric as the one applying Witch's Remain here. The next team is 27 million using Felicity as the main damage dealer. I also had to level up Neda to level 90. 70 will be sufficient as the team is doing 27 million. I used these supports here basically just to be able to put artifacts on. So we got some shielding, we got extra healing plus chest of radiance, and if someone dies, she can revive him as well. And Jorn, I never used Jorn, but since I had him low level, I decided I'll use him with Rift Hourglass to apply attack penalty in case we need to survive. When it comes to the timings, there's nothing. And the last team against this boss, so I didn't need to do this team, but I wanted to show you those 2 legendary heroes from the Burn faction. I could put Arrakis here instead of Maitan and it would work. But we know Arrakis, we used him in previous seasons. I wanted to use something new here, and Maitan does work, 26 million damage. And I'm using Horn on Furbuff, and the reason why I brought Furbuff here is because I'm using 2 melee damage dealers, so they will get the benefits of this Horn, plus the healing will keep them alive. And Maitan is using the best artifact in Season 4, Poison of the Swamp. And again, level 90s, because that's enough to do 26 million damage. If you struggle, you can level them up a little bit higher. Biggs had to be level 70 as well to survive because he's getting no healing because Furbuff is too far away. Next boss on the chopping list is Clepsydra. This is quite tricky without Rook, but I managed to do it without Rook as well. And first, let's go over the Rook team because it is an easy 22 million. As we know, the only thing that we really care here about is we got Calavera with Horn to boost damage, Dargo with Witch's Remain, and Rook with his artifact. We don't need anything else, just the timings. So Dargo first, and then 3 seconds later Rook. That's enough. Moving on to the next team, I've built this team, so I had to level a few heroes, but as you can see they are only level 70. Whisk does around 12-15 million damage on his own, so I just needed an extra damage, so I leveled up Sabrina, and I leveled up Sacredia, and Sabrina is doing good damage in this team, so yeah, definitely worth investing into her if you need Clepsydra to do 22 million on Clepsydra. And we bring in Stagamuffin only because he has this aura, so level 30 is enough to get the 30% attack on this boss. I was worried about doing a Rook, but I managed to split my rally team, who's doing over 120 million, into 2 different teams, and I didn't need to level up any other heroes because I already had them leveled up. So as you can see, I use Ifyr here with Ruse in Alton. That is enough to deal 32 million damage, and the reason for that is because I'm running 2 defenses down, and I'm also running Ifyr here using the Dominator set and fully attack. I even forgot to put gloves on again, so let's fix it for tomorrow. The damage will go up because tomorrow is a new day and we're gonna have new alliance buffs as well. So yeah, looking at this again, this is the artifacts that I used. Double defense down, Alton is enough to deal damage, and we only have 2 folders here. The skill timing is on default. If you want to improve this team, you could put 10-second gap in the timings between Rose and Ifyr, something like 11.8 and 21.8. This will mean you have constant defense down on your enemy, but it's not needed in this team, as you can see. The second team does 53 million damage, but it's using 2 damage dealers, Lorenfiel and Huberg. If you don't have Lorenfiel, he's not mandatory in this team. Just bring someone who can give Huberg rally, or you see your typical Hegio and Welby. This team will work as well, as this is just an overkill. As you can see, with 3 heroes, I'm able to do so much damage. Well, 4, because I also have Iola, and Iola is not wearing an equipment again. So let's quickly fix it, and the easy fix is Chest of Radiance. That's what we want in the team, in every team, because that helps tremendously. We arriving at the end, 4 teams left, and that's going to be Ascetius split into again. So I've been using Percunte and Orphina and Terrible in the main team. In here, we're gonna use the 2 of them, which is Orphina and Percunte, and the team is doing 49 million damage, which is a total overkill, but we only need those 2 heroes to deal damage, and as you can see, I'm not even using proper runes on Percunte because I didn't need to change it, and he had this equipment on when I created this team. There's no, well, there is one skill timing in case we die, 16 and 18 on Garius, but the team survives the whole battle. Then moving on to the next team as the Evelios and Farivol team with low-level healers, which is Mithras. You don't really need her, you just need any kind of healer here and any kind of tank really to deal damage. And as you can see, I'm not even using any equipment on her, which we should fix by just even adding this artifact, because we don't care, the damage is done, the damage is there. And level 90, Fathom down, no skills whatsoever, basically just to provide us with witches remain. Now, if you don't have those legendary heroes, don't worry. You can put in any Dauntless ranged damage dealers, range because it's easier to survive. Some tank who has debuff immunity, or even Ana as a healer, the rare hero who will remove the debuffs before the Ascetius ultimate. And this will guarantee you getting 22 million damage on this boss. And last boss, Fathom Down, while it was quite hard boss to get the highest damage possible against it, it is quite easy to get good numbers on this boss as we have access to so many Ice Blast heroes that are not legendary. So in my case, the first team will use Sheena and Nadja combo. Well, if you don't have Sheena, you can put in Nord. And Nord, put him here, so the Nord will go over here and will avoid the damage. But that means you need a ranged tank like this, okay? So you can't use Theodemir. But anyway, let's move on. Equipment-wise, we have 4 good heroes, so we're using Gatekeeper Staff to survive. We use Rift Hourglass to have accuracy, and the chest is gone again. Poison of the Swamp on Nadja is enough. This does a lot of damage, and as you can see, we're doing 69 million without chest on Theodemir, so let's fix it quickly. Now, the second team is another Ice Blast team, obviously, because this team is just doing so much damage. But Frost team with Usha, Drist will work as well. 22 million damage on this boss is not that hard. So I'm using Felocia here as a tank with Chest of Radiance. Garfen here to ensure she goes over here and avoids any damage from the boss except for the ultimate. We have Bledin with Pipe Organ to deal damage because our Witches Empire is Voresh with Cyril Set. And this team again works really well, 43 million damage. As you can see, this is way more than I need. But I didn't need to create another team because that covers the 15 teams that I've prepared on day 1, and hopefully you can copy at least half of them, and hopefully this gives you an idea how to build these teams on day 1, also which bosses are the easiest to build against. Please let me know in the comment section if you are a free-to-play player or if you require any other help. If you do, please join my Discord and I'll help you out to build your teams as a free-to-play player, because I don't think I'll have time to cover them by the end of the day on a test server. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please click the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. As always, thank you for watching, stay safe, bye!